Hello, 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 YouTube. It is I, Team Easy, that Beezy, on time, as promised by the time timer. I'm here today to read you a floating leaf sketch. I will be reading actually two intervals. When I originally wrote it, I thought it was just going to be two intervals, but it turned out to be an entire saga. So here's part one of two. Sound catches the light scratch along sandpaper concrete. Gravity and wind cooperate to delicately land a serrated leaf on the tension of clear water's surface. Clear but for the reflection of the sky, il cielo, quite possibly the inspiration for the Sistine Chapel or any other frescoes in a Duomo. Alas, patient and content, a stiff leathered carcass, proof of a pliant participant in summer's shade, a leaf from long ago whose skin has been tanned and taut, spent its summer looking upon this particular water, its reflection accompanying others to frame the faint blue sky above, whilst shielding its anchor from the radiant ball of heat that threatened its roots and homes of many creatures. Now wrinkled and starched, afloat, this vessel holds its own pool, a slight, steady bulging bead of water, shifting yet centered, like a ball instead of a book in its lap. Curvature to leaf's spine was created as it rested against the trunk of its only known home, a tree, before it made its way to water by chance or fate. All that, Team Easy, that Beezy. That is part one of what I thought was going to be a two-part poem, but as I stated, it may be a little longer. That is available on my blog, youareallthat.com, as well as this in a few moments will be uploaded. This is a floating leaf sketch, part 2, Wind and Water. The sounds of summer gone, ringing, zinging cicadas now drowsy and fading, rippling dissinations, shapes only water can make, reminiscent of rhombi, yet rounded. Clouds come in with dissipating darkness. The leaf reappears, champagne-colored, with 3 more small beads like bubbles atop its lap. Its stem curved, serving as a rudder, back bent from its base. A corrugated sail steering it in circles as wind and water still determine its ultimate direction. It is not alive or dead, the once passive remnant of summer before its chlorophyll left with the length of day. It is a shed leaf in limbo, detached by wind, caught by water, and moved because of Los Dos, either time-tested, sometimes tumultuous tango, always true también. Still, seemingly on a mission to make it to the deep end, stopped by a rope, human-made, purposed to make lines, delineating where one can and cannot go. It, proud and peacocked, lured another smaller, humbler leaf along. The alpha leaf overrode the littler leaf and left it low and wet, the last leaf alive, resting on water, resisting and repelling it somehow. That is part 1 and 2 of a floating leaf sketch. I left the West Coast, where I was born and raised, for Ohio unexpectedly in 2019. I found myself in Cincinnati, and I ended up working my way back toward water. I was in a very dark place for so many reasons, of which I hope to elaborate over time. And the only thing I knew for certain that I loved and could count on was water and something I could learn from. So I stood by a pool as summer transitioned to fall right around this time, late September, really, of 20. I wrote these poems as I watched leaves fall from the trees that surrounded the pool all summer. And it's more than two parts. That is all I'm going to leave you with that this evening as my Sunday evening live read aloud with Team Easy, That Beezy, live as stated, I hope, from the Heezy, but if not, that is where I am reading this to you. I also, in the season of fall, lots of things have been falling. My pencil's been falling out of my ear as I've gone live on another platform. I've been dropping things, and one time I kept replacing something that fell, and now 15-year-old said when he was about 6 as well. I'm telling you, 6-year-olds say some of the sagest things and some of the wildest. But he said, maybe it just needs to fall. So that's my kiddo story to wrap it up. Sometimes things just need to fall. Sometimes things fall apart to fall together. Um, Sometimes we feel like we're falling, but we never know where we will land, like that leaf on water. More on the leaf later. As you can see, I loved alliteration as I got into writing heavily in substitution for drinking heavily. I would like to wish you all love, care, and moon prayer. And my show and tell, which I meant to show earlier, will be this jacket, which I've had for a very long time. And it reminds me of fall, along with this polyester shirt, which I've had for even longer. And I'm not even going to tell you how long it is because it's disturbingly long how old I've had these shirts. But this was already vintage when I bought it. So, in the spirit of fall, I am wearing fall colors. And that is all I have to share with you. Thank you for spending your time listening to these words. I send you love, I send you care, and I send you moon prayer. All that. Team Easy, That Beezy. Have a lovely evening and week.